Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein here with another installment of Rabbi Ian 3, brought to you by Maor DC. Please find us on Facebook at Maor DC or our website, meordc.com, and learn about all our programs. And a special hello and shalom this week to my good friend and student, Dan Rosenberg, the incoming president of the Jewish Student Association at GW University, whom I saw today. He's always great to see him. And I predict a golden age of Jewish life, learning, and fellowship with Dan Rosenberg at the helm of the JSA at GW. Thumbs up. I'm looking forward to working together with you. Now, we've been talking in this summer session of Rabbi Ian 3 about the Ramban, Nachmanides' ethical letter to his son. He begins that letter talking about training oneself to speak calmly to all people at all times. It's hard, but we got to do it. Why? Because then we will eliminate anger from our lives. Now, the exact expression Ramban uses is interesting. He says you'll be saved from anger. We need a salvation, a saving, a hatzalah from anger. That's how destructive an attribute it is. It destroys relationships, one's life, one's blood pressure, one's cholesterol level. So many things are destroyed by anger if we don't have control of it. We need a salvation from anger. By the way, it's a good prayer sometimes when you daven, either in an actual minyan or your own, to ask Hashem to help gain control of your anger and other negative character traits. It's something to be saved from. Now let's go a little further. The Ramban says that once you are saved from anger, then you open up a space in your personality to achieve the level or the trait of humility, anava, and the next rung after that, yira, awe and awareness of God. Now, there's a lot to say about that, but it's an amazing thing. You got to eliminate anger in order to get to humility. That means if you're an angry person, you're an arrogant person. Now, don't get offended. I mean, I suffer from this too. But it means, if you think about it, that anger means things have to go my way. And the world has to go my way, and people have to, kowtow to how, to the way I want them to act. And if I don't, I get angry. That's gaiva, that's arrogance. That's really what Ramban's saying. You need to get control of that in order to truly be a humble person. We'll talk about humility in the future, but it's just striking to point out for now, humility can't really become an acquisition of our personalities when we're dominated by anger. And then we'll go to higher levels after that. In this week's Torah portion of Vayeschanan, I'll tie it in very quickly, Moshe Rabbeinu recounts how God told him he couldn't go into the land of Israel. And it was because of the sin of the rock. He struck the rock instead of speaking to the rock. That's in the book of Numbers. And it had to do with anger. Now, there were a lot of extenuating circumstances, and there's a lot to talk about with that particular incident in Moshe Rabbeinu's life and Moses' life. But a certain anger might have been involved in it, and we see how destructive it is. It prevented the great Moshe Rabbeinu from going into Israel. Of course, it's all for the best. As I once heard a great rabbi say, so many generations of Jews never went into Israel, and they could despair of that, but then they could remember that Moshe Rabbeinu, perhaps the greatest Jew of all time, never went to the land of Israel. In any case, I stray. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Don't get angry at me or anybody else. Speak calmly. Have a good and great Shabbos.